So, what's up everyone, this is Rayuka here, and today I'm going to give my review of Dragon Ball Xenoverse. Now, I have to say, I call this game Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse. That's just the way I call it, mainly because the game consists of mainly Z fighters and some movie fighters as well. But, yeah, I have not seen any Dragon Ball characters in here. And I know what you're saying, well, Goku's from Dragon Ball, Piccolo's from Dragon Ball, well, King Piccolo, not this Piccolo. So, yeah, though there's really like no Dragon Ball characters in this game besides Master Roshi and a few others that aren't playable. I call it Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse, but it's called Dragon Ball Xenoverse. And I would imagine the reason why is because Xenoverse is its own story, the same with Dragon Ball Z, how Z is his own story, or Dragon Ball Super, how Super is his own thing. Then the same kind of goes for GT, how GT was his own thing, and then it went whichever direction it went. Anyways, now that I'm done explaining that, I'm going to talk about the story. So I'm going to try to simplify the story Xenoverse as best as I can, because the story is not that complicated. It's pretty straightforward. Pretty much Trunks makes a wish through Shenron to summon you, the player, which you become a time patroller, to go around doing Trunks' work while Trunks is investigating what's altering events in certain sagas. He's having you go and investigate furthermore to see what's going on. And while you're doing this, you come across the main villains of the story anyway, Tora and Mira. And these two are wreaking chaos throughout the sagas, and you're trying to stop them from doing that. While in the process of doing this, you figure out that they're trying to make events play out totally different than what they originally played out, of course. Such as, here's an example, the Saiyan Saga, where Piccolo uses a special beam cannon to kill Goku and Raditz. Now, let's say that didn't happen that way and Piccolo just killed Goku, but Raditz lived. Things will not turn out so well at Earth, pretty much, if that was to happen. So, the Time Patroller, your job is to make sure that that does not happen and that everything plays out the way it should play out. So, while all this is happening, while all this is unfolding, you figure out that Mira and Toa's goal is to bring back the demigod Gora, if I pronounced his name right, and he is pretty much the main cause of a lot of things going on in Xenoverse's story, while Trunks is investigating more into this, pretty much trying to stop this from happening. And no matter how you try to stop it from happening, it still happens, and you have to fight demigod Gora at some point. So that's pretty much the whole Xenoverse story, and it also ends in a cliffhanger, but I believe I spoiled enough of it, so yeah, it's pretty much the story for Xenoverse, the way I understood it anyway. So now I'm going to talk about character select, well, at least most of the characters in the game. As you'll see here, this includes DLC characters. The thing that bothered me about the character selection is that certain characters, such as transformations, had to be put in a whole other slot because, well, it seems like that's a thing now where transformations have to be in another slot and they can't be, I don't know, implemented in a way with the main character to transform, such as Goku here, where you have so much different variations, and a few of them consisting of only different stats or different moves that separate one from the other. And I felt like all this could have just been put into one character, but apparently they couldn't do that, and they had to just make them separate or make different variations, adding more and more to the character roster. Where I feel like sometimes there's just, for instance, you got Cell and Perfect Cell, when they could have just added Perfect Cell as a transformation and maybe, I don't know, put another character like Cooler, but they didn't do that. And the characters that consist in Dragon Ball Xenoverse is Dragon Ball Z, and one GT character, but it was a pre-order bonus, not counting what's included in the season pass, as well as the Battle of God movie characters that are also in the game, and Broly. How can you have a Dragon Ball Z game now these days about Broly? And so on and so forth. I mean, there was no Dragon Ball characters. There's no Kid Goku, no General Tao, Nobody from the Red Ribbon Army, not counting the androids from Dragon Ball Z, but just Dragon Ball itself. So it would have been fun to see more gimmicky characters in the game, but the only one you get like that is Jocko, and he was from Battle Gods. So with that being said, as I said before, what you're seeing here consists of DLC. So it's not this. The roster itself though is pretty big, but the DLC just adds a little bit more to what's already there. So besides that, character creation. To me, character creation really felt 50-50. And before I get more into it, let me talk about the races. There's about 5 races in Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse. You got the Saiyan race, the human race, the Namekian race, Majin race, Frieza race. And among those races, there's pretty much a give and take between the bunch. I mean, to balance them out, that's how they did it. You know, one strong in one area while the other is weak in another. And to me, I played the same race and also the Namekian, but when I played the same race, what really disappointed me and what was also a bit surprising was how nerfed it felt to be a Saiyan in Xenoverse. Basically, you had to earn your Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2, and there also was like a Super Vegeta 2 or Super Vegeta, if I'm not mistaken. And when you earned these forms, they didn't feel like for the character to transcend. Excuse me. Basically, when the character went from Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan 2, his hair didn't change. It was still yellow. He just got more shinier, he or she, depending on what gender you picked for your character, and that was it. So it was disappointing in that front. I felt like they could have done a lot more when it came to customizing the character's look with hair anyway, to make the character feel like, oh, he or she transformed, went beyond the current state that they're in, from Super Saiyan transcended to Super Saiyan 2. Besides that, the customization with the character, such as you could add moves from other characters, and also when it came to creating the clothing on the character, certain clothing gives the character benefits. Some of them don't, some of them do. So yeah, like you have more damage with maybe a shirt, and with some boots you have more defense. It's weird, but that's just how they did it with Xenoverse when it came to character creation. So the clothing in the game, whether it was male or female, isn't too different. It's just altered a bit between the two. That's about it. That's just the way I viewed it anyway. In character creation, to me, it just felt 50-50. It wasn't bad. I liked it that you create your own character, but it was a bit disappointing because it just felt like there wasn't enough put into it. And now I'm going to talk about the voice acting. The voice acting in this game, you could choose between different voices, whether it's male or female, to pick between. And though they voice obviously a lot of the in-game stuff, such as specials, you know, they mentioned the special moves and whatnot. It seems like Namco Bandai didn't decide to take these same voice actors and maybe give them an actual line in the story in Xenoverse. I'm not talking about in-game while they're fighting and battling and they're mentioning. I'm talking about just in the story, like for them to say something, because there's a lot of times in the story where your creative character is there and he or she is just a total mute. He's a mute. He doesn't say anything. He's just like clueless, and Goku or some Z fighter from the saga will fill in the line and be like, well, this, that, and the third, and it's just like, wait, you tell me my creative character couldn't say anything? There was no line that they couldn't give the voice actors to say in the story, but they clearly gave them lines in game to say, such as Big Bang Attack or Kamehameha, but they couldn't say anything in the actual story, not even one line. And at times you just don't feel a relation with the character. You don't feel a connection, not even like a laugh. It's just like, oh, okay, that's it. And to me, that was a bit disappointing, and I felt like that was almost lazy on Namco Bandai's part not to consider doing that. But it is Xenoverse. I guess that's to be expected. And being that the character you create is really now part of the Dragon Ball Z story in a sense. I mean, that's how I took it anyway. So besides that, I'm going to touch up on online real quick. So when Xenoverse came out, online clearly wasn't perfect. Online had its problems. Online was, but I mean, I couldn't log in for like a week. That's how bad the multiplayer servers were, at least from my end anyway. And over time, online got better with updates and whatnot. But even to this day, online, even though it's better than what it was at launch, it still has its problems from time to time, and it's nowhere near perfect, but it's playable. I just wish that they would have put a lot more work into this one before it came out, so then the game would have been flooded with so many problems, online wise anyway. So besides that, over time,